My sister Megan has always been the star. Not because she earned it, because my parents decided she was. When we were kids, her participation trophies lined the mantel while my debate team championships went in a box in the garage. When she barely graduated high school, they threw her a party. When I got accepted to Yale Law, my mother said, "Well, someone has to be the uptight one in the family." I stopped correcting them years ago.
It was easier that way.
By the time I was 32, I'd made partner at one of the top firms in the city, argued 2 cases before appellate courts, and won a landmark discrimination case that changed employment law in 3 states. Forbes featured me in their under 30 list when I was 28. The New York Times quoted me in 4 separate articles. I bought my own brownstone in Brooklyn and paid off my student loans in 5 years. Megan, 29, still lived with our parents. She worked part-time at a boutique, changed jobs every 8 months, and had a habit of borrowing money she never paid back. But according to our parents, she was thriving. She had life figured out. She wasn't obsessed with work like I was. The irony? I'd been quietly paying their mortgage for 3 years. When Dad's business failed, they were 2 months from foreclosure. They didn't ask me for help, they never did. But I couldn't let them lose the house, so I refinanced it under my name and set up automatic payments for my account. They thought the bank had given them a modification. I never told them otherwise. I didn't do it for gratitude. I did it because they were my parents, and despite everything, I loved them. Then Megan got engaged. She called me on a Tuesday, breathless with excitement. His name is Jonathan. He's a corporate attorney.
He's amazing, Riley.
You'd actually like him. He's serious like you. Something about the way she said it made my stomach tighten, but I pushed it aside. That's great, Meg. I'm happy for you. We're having an engagement party Saturday. You'll come, right? I know you're busy saving the world or whatever, but it would mean a lot. I should have seen it coming. The party was at our parents' house, the house I owned, though no one knew it. The backyard was strung with lights, tables covered in white linen, a bartender mixing cocktails near the pool. Megan had gone all out. Or rather, our parents had. I wondered briefly who'd paid for it, then decided I didn't want to know. I arrived late, wearing a simple black dress and carrying a gift I'd spent too much time picking out. My mother greeted me at the door with a tight smile.
Riley.
You made it. Try to mingle, okay? Don't just stand in the corner with your phone. Good to see you too, Mom. Megan was in the center of the yard, glowing in a white cocktail dress, her hand constantly moving to show off the ring. A crowd surrounded her, laughing at something she'd said. I recognized aunts, uncles, family friends, all the same people who'd watched me grow up invisible. Then I saw him. Jonathan stood beside her, tall and polished in a gray suit, his hand resting lightly on her back. He had the kind of face you'd see in a corporate headshot, strong jawline, confident smile, dark hair styled perfectly. He looked successful. He looked like he belonged. I felt a strange pang in my chest. Not jealousy. Something else. Relief, maybe, that she'd found someone stable. Someone who might actually be good for her. I was about to slip inside and avoid the crowd when Megan spotted me. Riley. She waved me over, her voice sing-songy. Come meet Jonathan. I walked over, forcing a smile. The crowd parted slightly, and suddenly I was standing in front of them, every eye on me. Jonathan, this is my older sister, Riley. Megan's smile didn't quite reach her eyes. Riley, this is my fiancé. Jonathan extended his hand. Nice to meet you, Riley. His grip was firm, professional. But as our eyes met, something flickered across his face. Confusion. Recognition. Like he was trying to place me but couldn't figure out from where. You too, I said, pulling my hand back. Megan looped her arm through his. Riley's a lawyer too, actually. Well, sort of. She does, like, small cases. Nothing glamorous. I felt the familiar sting but said nothing. Jonathan frowned, still staring at me. Have we met before? You look really familiar. Before I could answer, Megan laughed, loud and sharp. Don't worry, she's just my boring sister. You've probably seen a million people who look like her. The dismissal was casual, practiced. The crowd chuckled politely. But Jonathan didn't laugh. His frown deepened. He pulled out his phone, fingers moving quickly across the screen. I watched his expression change, confusion giving way to shock, then something close to disbelief. His face went completely white. "You're Riley Chun," he said quietly, his voice cutting through the chatter. "You're the Riley Chun." The yard went still. I didn't say anything. I didn't need to. He turned his phone toward Megan, his hand shaking slightly. "This is your sister?" Megan glanced at the screen, her smile frozen in place. What are you?" "You're the attorney who won the Henderson case." His voice was louder now, sharp with disbelief. He looked at me, then back at Megan. "She argued one of the most important employment discrimination cases in the last decade. She was on the cover of Forbes Under 30. She's a partner at Whitman and Locke." Silence crashed into the backyard like a wave. My mother's face went pale. My father's mouth opened, then closed. Aunts and uncles exchanged confused glances. Megan's laugh came out strangled. "Jonathan, you told me your sister never went to college." His voice wasn't angry. It was worse. It was cold, factual, like he was cross-examining a witness. "You said she worked an office job. You said she'd never accomplished anything." "I didn't. I never said." "You did." He looked at her like he was seeing her for the first time. "You told me you were the successful one in your family. You said your parents sacrificed everything for you because you were the only one with potential." My mother made a small sound, something between a gasp and a whimper. Jonathan turned to me, his expression softening slightly. "I'm so sorry. I cited your work in my last brief. The Henderson case changed how we approach workplace retaliation claims." You're brilliant." I didn't know what to say. "Thank you." Megan's face had gone from pale to blotchy red. "This is ridiculous. She's making this a bigger deal than it is. So she won some case, so what? That doesn't make her better than me." "No one said better," Jonathan replied, his voice quiet. "But you lied to me, Megan, about something fundamental, about your own sister." "I didn't lie. She looked around desperately, searching for an ally. "Mom, tell him how Riley's always been obsessed with work, how she has no life, no balance." "Megan." My father's voice cracked. "Stop." She whirled on him. "Stop what? Telling the truth? She doesn't even come to family dinners. She doesn't care about us. She owns this house." The words came from my mother, barely a whisper. Everyone turned to stare at her.
"What?"
Megan's voice was small. My mother's hands were shaking. "Riley bought the house 3 years ago, when your father's business collapsed. She refinanced everything under her name. She's been paying the mortgage this whole time." I closed my eyes. I hadn't wanted it to come out like this. "That's not..." Megan looked at me, her eyes wide. "You didn't." "I did." My voice came out calmer than I felt. "You didn't know because I didn't want you to know. I didn't do it for credit." Jonathan's jaw tightened. He took a step back from Megan, creating distance. "You told me your parents were supporting you. You said they were helping with your rent, your car payments. You made it sound like you were the one helping them." "I am helping them. I help Mom with errands. You help yourself to their money," Jonathan said quietly. "Money that isn't even theirs." Megan's face crumpled. "Jonathan, please. Don't do this here. You lied about your sister. You lied about your family. You lied about yourself." He pulled the engagement ring from his pocket. He must have slipped it off while she wasn't looking. "I can't marry someone I don't know."
"No."
"No, no, no." Megan reached for him, but he stepped back. "Jonathan, I love you. I made mistakes, but I love you." "I thought I knew who you were," he said, his voice breaking slightly. "I'm sorry. I can't do this." He turned, walked past me with a small nod of acknowledgement, and disappeared into the house. The backyard was silent except for the soft music still playing from a speaker by the pool. Megan stood frozen, tears streaming down her face. Then she turned to me, her expression twisting into something ugly. "You did this. You ruined everything." I didn't say a word. I replied quietly. You didn't have to. You just had to exist. You just had to be perfect. I'm not perfect, Meg. I just didn't lie. She let out a sob and ran into the house. My mother looked at me, her eyes wet. Riley, It's okay, Mom. I meant it. I should go. I walked through the house, past relatives who wouldn't meet my eyes, and out to my car. My hands were shaking as I started the engine. 2 weeks later, I received an email from my father. Short, halting, full of apologies I didn't need, but appreciated anyway. He asked if we could have dinner. Just the three of us, him, Mom, and me. I said yes. Megan moved out a month later, got her own apartment with money from a job she'd finally committed to. We didn't talk for a while. Eventually, she sent me a text. I'm sorry. I was awful to you. I wrote back, I know. Thank you. It wasn't forgiveness exactly, but it was a start. As for Jonathan, I never saw him again. But a colleague mentioned he'd started dating someone, a teacher, she said. Someone honest. I hope he's happy. And me? I'm still working too much, still living in my brownstone, still paying my parents' mortgage without telling anyone. But now when I go to family dinners, my mother introduces me properly. My father asks about my cases. And Megan doesn't say I have no life. Because the truth is I have exactly the life I built. And no one can take that from me. Sometimes, the loudest revenge isn't a scream. It's just living well and letting the truth speak for itself.